Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online. This is the Doctor, and today I am going to show you a series of videos based on the Season 8 Dyson Joint Command Reputation. In Season 8, Cryptic released a new holding for players, and that was known as the Dyson Joint Command. And that goes with all the other ones. We have New Romulus, New Kara Strike Force, and Task Force Omega. This Dyson Joint Command, obviously relating to the Dyson Sphere, the Solanae Dyson Sphere, the Voth, and that whole storyline was put in Season 8. I have just now got to Tier 5 on all of the Dyson Joint Command tiers. That means everything is unlocked, all the stores are unlocked. But what's unique with Dyson Joint Command is, just like New Romulus, there are missions, you could call them, but more like cutscenes in this one. New Romulus actually had missions attached to each tier. So you would get Tier 1 and then you'd go do a mission on New Romulus. Tier 2, another mission. Tier 3 and Tier 4, and then Tier 5, you did a big mission which summarized the whole thing, and we learned a whole lot on the New Romulus one. That one was very, very large in scale. And by the end of it, then you get a whole bunch of Romulan marks and expertise and dilithium and even energy credits as a reward. Well, they did the same thing with the Dyson Joint Command. However, I believe it is cut down and not as grand scale as New Romulus was. I haven't done it yet. I haven't seen what's associated with it, so I have no idea. But I am going to show you here today what it's all about, and I'll see it for the first time as well. I have saved all the missions at each tier in my mission window. As you can see here, these are all the ones that are associated with Dyson Joint Command. I have not done any of them yet. I saved them for you guys so we can sit down and watch them together and see what the entire Dyson Joint Command reputation, missions, I guess we'll call them, are all about, as one whole complete storyline from start to finish without having to wait in between. And because once you finish one tier, you have to wait till you finish the next tier and then the next one. So now we can see them all together and get a better idea of the storyline. Before I jump into that, I just want to quickly go over what is available in the Dyson Joint Command reputation, because I did show in previous videos what's available under Task Force Omega, what's available under New Kara Strike Force, and what's available under New Romulus. And with the Dyson Joint Command, like I said, it's all based on the Dyson Sphere, Solanae technology, and Voth. And fighting the Voth specifically. A lot of anti-proton and proton-based energy type weaponry for buffing and debuffing and all that kind of stuff. So let's just quickly go through the tiers. Let me just hover over the passives that are associated with it. Tier 1, you have Deadly Aim plus 10% crit severity. This is on ground. Or plus 5 all damage bonus resistance rating. I went with that for the ground. Tier 2 is Space ability, either plus 10% crit severity in space or plus 5 all damage bonus resistance rating in space. I went with that, so beef up my ground and my space a little better there. For Tier 3, you can do active armor hardening on ground, which, as you can see, there's the stats on that. Or you can do vanquish ability on ground. I think this is the more offensive option, and the active armor hardening is the more defensive option. I chose the defensive option on this character. By the way, I'm on my engineer, my primary engineering character. He is on Federation side. Tier 4, you have active hull hardening for your ship or tactical advantage for your ship. And again, I believe this one is the more defensive, this one's the more offensive. I went with the defensive active hull hardening. And then the Tier 5 ability you get is Defiance, which is a ground ability you can enable, and there's the stats on it and what it does. I haven't actually used it yet. I just put it on my hotbar, but I haven't actually used it yet, so I'm not sure how well it works. But all the other passives, I basically went for defense. Of course, you can do as you need if you want to go for offense or defense, up to you. Anyway, that is what's available for the passives. Now, what's available in the gear is really exciting. For ground gear, okay, you have the experimental proton beam rifle, which is part of the 3-piece ground set. And I haven't used it yet. I don't have it yet. It does proton damage, but there's all the stats on it. You can pause and read that if you'd like. Then you have the Dyson Heavy Combat Armor, and there's the stats on that. And then we come down to the Dyson Reactive Personal Shield, and there's the stats on the shield. Now all these together combined into a set. You have a set 2 bonus called Antipodal Synergies, and then a set 3 bonus called Hunker Down. Excuse me, called Hunker Down. Now I cannot right click these right now and get you the information on what the heck Antipodal Synergies is or Hunker Down until I get one of these items, and then at that point I can right click on the information and show you, but I don't know offhand, so you'll have to go to STO Wiki or something to read up on what the set bonuses are. But this is the cool armor that everybody wants and everybody has that makes you look really cool. And you can customize this armor in the tailor. You can change the colors on it. So it's a little more, it's a bit better than the Omega or Mako gear. A little more customizable, I think. But this is the armor that everyone wants to look cool in. So if you want to look cool, this is what you want. Now each of these pieces unlock at a certain tier level. And I think the last one doesn't even open until tier 5 or something like that. So you have to literally level all the way up in Dyson Joint Command in order to gain access to this ground set. I haven't used it yet, but believe you me, I do want it. And I will be getting it when I have enough Dyson marks. Now for space, you have some space items. Actually, you have more space items than you do ground. You have a 3-piece I guess we'll call console weapon set, and then you have a 4-piece deflector, shield, engine, and warp core set, all based on Dyson, Solanay Dyson technology. However, the space set is not as good as the Solanay set that you actually got from A Step Between Stars missions, and I can show you the comparisons because I have looked in depth at them, and the Solanay set is better than the Dyson set. But the 3-piece console weapon set is pretty good, and I want to get that. In fact, I'm working on it on my science characters because that's where it's going to benefit, especially with the Dyson ship. So you have a universal proton particle stabilizer, +3 weapon power setting, +3 engine power setting, improves power transfer rate, and improves proton weapon damage. So if you're flying a Dyson science ship, one of those new Dyson science ships, this is a console you want. This will help you do more proton damage, and that's the special weapon on the Dyson ships. And it has a 3-piece bonus. You combine all 3 pieces, you've got something called Arsenal Synergy, and then particle stabilizers for the 3rd piece. Now here's what is, I think, not so good. The Dyson Combat Engine, there's the stats on it, but the Solanay engine I think is better than this engine, at least in different ways. Then the Dyson Deflector, here's the stats on the Dyson Deflector. The Solanay Deflector is way better than this. See where it says plus 26.2 particle generator? The Solanay Deflector does plus 35. All of those stats are way better on the Solanay Deflector. Then you've got the Dyson Field Stabilizing Singularity Core or Warp Core, depending if you're Romulan, Warbird, or Federation or Klingon. So the Romulan Warbird would have that. And basically these warp cores are more focused on shield with the Dyson stuff, is what I've noticed. More shield, whereas the Solanay stuff is more on auxiliary power, which is what you want on a science vessel. So, and there's the stabilizing warp core right there. Again, more about shields, and you'll notice it has a weapon power to shield power as bonus power. So it's weapon to shield power for bonus power. Again, all about shields on the Dyson stuff there. But the shield itself is not that good. The capacity on this is really low. 5913 compared to other shields you can get. Even the Solanay shield is like 2,000 to 3,000 more shield capacity. It's better. So yeah, I don't think it's that good. But this set here, combined with the console, you have an experimental proton weapon. This weapon, I haven't used it yet, but I'm real interested in it because apparently it can be modified with both cannon and beam bridge officer power abilities. That's right, you could do beam overload or beam fire at will, or you could do cannon cannon, the cannon spread. Oh, my mind just went blank. Cannon rapid fire and cannon scatter volley. That's what I was trying to think of. So apparently both of those can modify it in different ways, and if you have the whole set, then you can modify it with different bridge officer powers, and apparently it can do both, which is something that is mind-blowing to me, but I haven't tried it yet, and boy do I want it so that I can try it. And the next, another thing I do want here is the gravimetric photon torpedo. This combines with that proton experimental weapon and the proton console, and then you get that arsenal synergy and particle stabilizers. All those three sets together is what I want on my science character with a Dyson ship. I'm working toward that on Rassilon, actually, because I now have him on a Dyson ship, and I want those three. I want that whole set on that ship. Okay. Now, when you also tier up, you also get access to the store. And this is where you get protonic polaron weapons. If you were wondering, where the heck do I get protonic polaron weapons? They're not in the exchange. Sometimes you get them from drops. Sometimes you would get them from doing your, the Dyson Joint Command thwart Voth efforts. When you put one combination in there and you do it, then you would get a box you open and it could be a protonic polaron weapon. In fact, I have several of these from boxes. These weapons here, protonic polaron dual heavy cannons, protonic polaron beam arrays. I got these from the boxes just tiering up this Dyson Joint Command, so that's all a plus. And these consoles here, tactical auto targeting modules, and they add proton weapon damage, accuracy, and also this one does also anti-proton damage as well, anti-proton and proton weapon damage. So that's pretty cool. But I got those from the boxes. But when you unlock the store, these are bought with dilithium, and you have access to Mark 12 protonic polaron, very rare protonic polaron turrets of different modifiers, dual heavy cannons, dual cannons, dual beam banks, all those tactical consoles you can put on to boost proton damage, because there's nothing else in this game that can boost proton damage except these consoles here from this store. Engineering console, I haven't even looked at these yet. Energy signature dampeners with different modifiers. I haven't even looked at these yet, but look, that's cool. Science consoles, I haven't looked at these either. These are more, I think, based on shield stuff, like shield regen. Assault weapons, pulse wave assault weapons, blast assault minigun, full auto rifles, pistols, all of it, protonic polaron. So if you want the cool protonic polaron stuff, you want to tier up in the Dyson Joint Command, and that's going to give you the cool stuff. Now, as you can see, I do have the full, I went ahead and did get the full Dyson Sets, Dyson deflector array, Dyson combat engine, Dyson regenerative shield, and field stabilizing warp core. I wanted to have the whole set because I do want to try it out. But when I was comparing it to the Solanae set, which is right underneath it here, I was noticing the stats are just better with the Solanae set. So here's the Dyson deflector, okay? Improves shield healing, improves ship hit points, resists shield drain and energy drain, and improves exotic damage. Now the improved exotic damage is plus 26.2. The resist shield drain is plus 17.5, and the improved ship hit points is 26.2. But look what happens when I go down to the Solanae one. It's got the same stuff, ship hit points, shield drain, energy drain, and exotic damage, but look at the stats, they're all plus 35. So much higher with the Solanae set. Plus the Solanae deflector adds accuracy, whereas this one had shield healing. So you get more accuracy with the Solanae set, and you get higher stats, plus 35 down the row there. So the Solanae deflector, better bar none. I mean, it's simple math. Now we look at the combat engine differences, okay? This one does improve shield power, engine power, and auxiliary power, but it's plus 2.5. When we come down to the Solanae, it improves weapon and auxiliary power, not engine power, but it's higher, plus 3.8. So if you're on a science ship, right, you want to buff that auxiliary power as much as possible. So here you go, an engine that will give you plus 3.8 auxiliary power compared to this one, which is only plus 2.5. So right off the bat for science, the Solanay one is better anyway. Plus, this one has a bonus. When you are hit by directed energy attacks, you have a 25% chance to gain more turn rate and flight speed for 15 seconds. So there's a little bonus attached to the Solanay one. This one doesn't have that. You basically just have that. So there you go. Solanay, better than the Dyson one. Now we come to the shield. The Dyson shield, okay? 5913 shield capacity. Solanay shield, 7489. So right off the bat, shield capacity is better on the Solanay shield. Okay. Also, you have 5% absorption and 5% bleed through. That's also better because it's a resilient shield. This one has a high regen rate, but this one has a little bonus here. When hit by directed energy attacks, you have a 1% chance to reflect 33% of the damage back at the attacker. So there you go. Again, a better shield. Plus, when you combine the Solanay set, you have these three pieces. You've got cyclical shield conduits and structural integrity leech. So if you have two of those pieces, you're going to have more shield power anyway, and a higher shield power setting. Then you're going to have this ability called structural integrity leech, which is going to grant all of your weapon attacks a 1% chance to repair your hull for 100% of the damage they deal. And if you have the Solanay engine, like on a Dyson ship, you get the metaphasic shields. So I think that the Solanay set is better for a science ship than the Dyson set. Now this one does have different things as well. It has a set 2 bonus called Shielded Critical Systems. So it adds more hold, disable, knock, repel, and slow. It adds more resist, shield drain, and energy drain, proton barrage, and then reactive shielding. But I think that the benefits of the Solanay one, at least on a Dyson ship, far outweigh the benefits of this, of the Dyson one. Anyway, I got them both because obviously I'm going to try them out. I got to, right? That's what I do. So I will try that out. But again, what I don't have to show you yet is the 3-piece, again, proton console, experimental proton weapon, and the gravimetric torpedo. I do not have those yet. I am working on those on Rassilon because he is now flying the Dyson ship. I'm going to put that set on him and see how that rolls on the Dyson ship. I think that set will work really well on that ship. So it would be the Solanay space set and then the Dyson console and weapon set on a Dyson ship. I think that'll be really cool. So anyway, that's what the whole, and also the protonic Polaron weapons. That's another thing. I am going to get the protonic Polaron weapons on the Dyson ship on Rassilon because he's a science character and he's flying the Dyson ship, and it's all about buffing protonic energy or proton energy, and it'll be now switched over to Polaron. So my tactical consoles will be Polaron based actually, and then, you know, all this stuff is to help buff proton stuff too. It sounds complicated. I'm working through it. I'm learning at the same time. But there you go. There's an overview of Dyson Joint Command. Boy, was that took longer than I wanted it to. But now you have a good idea what to expect when you tier up to tier 5 in Dyson Joint Command and what's available. So then now you can decide if you even want to, right? But there's what is available. And I don't have the ground set yet either to show you the Voth armor and all that, but when I do, I will get that. Okay, let's get on to what I really came here to show you, and that is the stuff that unlocks at each tier of the Dyson Joint Command. These are not in order, by the way. I have a list sitting beside me. This is not the correct order. The correct order is Unexpected Friend, that's tier 1. And then tier 2 is Unlikely Neighbors. Actually, that is the right order. And then tier 3 is Unsafe Practices. Yeah, that's right. And then tier 4 is Unsavory Actions. And then tier 5 is Unsaid Thanks. So there you go. That is the right. It's not the right order in here for some reason, but it is the right order in here. So that's weird. Okay, it says Sub Commander Cole. So let's start the first one. This is Unexpected Friend. You get this when you finish tier 1 Dyson Joint Command. Sub Commander Cole has received an encrypted message he'd like to share with you. Return to Dyson Joint Command to talk to him. Meet with Sub Commander Cole. Okay, we need to go to Dyson Joint Command. Hooray!